Hello everybody, it's June 20th today and I've just seen this. 16 billion passwords have been leaked. Apple, Facebook, Google, they're all claiming it's not their data. However, these have been discovered from publicly accessible databases. That's the importance of cybersecurity. But let's jump right into it. Let's find out what's going on. But before we do that, before we jump on, you need to change your password on everything. If you're reusing your password, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, make sure you're changing it now, because the likelihood is your password has been leaked. So what's happened? Essentially, in the public internet, people have discovered these databases. I think there's about 30 different databases that have been discovered, and they've all got a lot of credentials in them. Some of the records might overlap, of course. It's not clear right now where these credentials have come from and what databases they're out of. But they're containing passwords, emails, user information, all that sort of stuff, all the usual sort of stuff. I'm guessing the passwords are in plain text, but I don't know. I couldn't find that in the article, and this is from Cyber News. I'll link it down below. But seems to be the only article I've seen about it. There is an LBC article, but that just refers to this. So I'm not really sure who broke the news, but it's very interesting. Think about the scale of this one though, like 16 billion login credentials, right? That's 2 for every single person on the planet. That's absolutely bonkers. Like, that's bonkers. The likelihood is your data is in this. You are. This is interesting. This is just how you can fuck it up. As it says here, this is not just a leak, it's a blueprint for mass exploitation. And I think that's probably true. You're going to know email addresses, usernames, passwords, what site it was, all that sort of stuff. For loads of people, for all these 16 billion login credentials. Cyber criminals now have unprecedented access to personal credentials. You can use, with AI these days, you can be mapping this out and you can be doing all that sort of clever technical stuff of analysing and linking it all together. I think this could bring about a change in how we log into websites. There's already a precedent for pushing to passkeys on WebAuthn, which is 0 phishable factors. But I think this is the next. This is just going to push it in that direction, because accounts are going to be so much less secure. Everybody's password data has potentially been leaked. It's bad. They've got a nice graph showing you the top 20 data sets by number of records. So some have got 3 million, some have got 2, some have got 1, and then it gets slightly less. But of course, there's like 30 odd, which I think is really interesting, but there's a lot of data sets. They're all in the millions. Sorry, that's 350 million. I think I said 300 million. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy, crazy. So say it includes both old and recent logs with tokens, cookies, metadata. That is massively bad, especially if you're not using something like a multi-factor. So you haven't got any 2FA, you're not doing, even if you're doing basic SMS 2FA, not that I like it because it's easily hackable, but not hackable, but like phishable. But it's bad. This is bad. The response from Google, Facebook and Apple is that the data hasn't been leaked. However, with 16 billion records, the likelihood that your granny over there is using the same password on Granny X as opposed to Granny Y websites is very high. So the likelihood that these details have been phished and leaked inadvertently by using them on 2 sites is very, very high. This is going to be a massive change, and if you haven't already, do change your password. You should be using a password manager. That would be my best recommendation. That should hopefully solve this. Well, it won't solve this. It'll make it easier, and it'll mean you're less vulnerable on the sites. It's very, very interesting and very, very bad. Well, I think I've covered all of this now. Yeah, it's quite bad, and I would recommend that you change your password. But I'll leave you with this while you go and change your passwords, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.